So, what do you want for dinner?
Spaghetti, please.
Okay, coming right up. Spaghetti. Is something wrong?
Yeah, it's not spaghetti. Have you seen this?
It is spaghetti. He doesn't seem to like his meal. It might be because I forgot a step. See, I didn't prepare it for him in a way that he was willing to eat it. We don't want to let this happen when we're writing our stories, right? We want to make sure that not only does it have the right ingredients, but that we've prepared it for our audience. So let's take a look at how we can make our story a little bit more interesting and prepare it a little bit better. Here on our screen, we have our planning document where we've already done a lot of good thinking when it comes to what our character is going to be like. We have some details about the physical description. We also have some details about the personality description. We want this to come out in our story, in our writing. So here's my first pass at my story, and I'm talking about Peter Parker. And you can just read. It's, I don't know, if you read from this first paragraph, it's a little bit dry. It says all my ideas that are up here, but it's not really an interesting story. So when you're preparing a story, there's a few things that you really want to take into consideration. And one of them is something called RAFT, R-A-F-T. And it's the role of the writer, the audience, the format, and the topic. If you could do a little bit of thinking about this before you write and while you're writing, your story will start to take shape and be more interesting to your readers. So what do we mean by the role? Well, who are you as you're writing this? And who we are, we're a narrator of a story. We're a storyteller, right? So just keep that in mind when I'm writing. Who's my audience? Right, we said that our audience is going to be an audience that is younger than we are. So in our case, it's going to be anywhere from grades, let's say grades 2 to 6. We're going to keep our audience young so that we keep it appropriate. Format. And what format are we writing? We are writing a narrative, right? So we know that we're going to use all of our good narrative writing skills. We're storytellers. We want to make this interesting. And then what is the topic? Well, the topic is the hero's journey, or some of you might be doing a myth, a new myth from Greek mythology. So keep these things in mind. And if we're thinking about this, if we're really thinking about our audience, we want to make it kind of interesting to them. We want to make this a story that they are going to want to read. So I'm going to take what I've written so far, and I'm going to show you how I may have fixed this up. And you might be able to see some differences between this. Instead of just saying Peter Parker was a nerdy teen who was smaller than the other guys at school, I'm going to show my audience. So that's the other thing that I want you guys to do. Show the audience rather, and tell. Always, always, always. Your audience is going to be really super intelligent. You don't really have to tell them much. You just have to show them. Here's what I mean by that. Take a look. Ned thumped down his lunch tray and slid in next to Peter. See, there's a lot of action words there. Are you going to ask her to the dance? He asked through a mouthful of mashed potatoes. Here we have using dialogue and some sensory description to really put this picture in the reader's mind, rather than just tell them that Peter's got a best friend, Ned, and that he's kind of a slob. We're showing them. No, not yet, Peter replied, flicking potato off his shirt collar. The timing isn't right. Besides, I can't today. May and I are going to my folks' memorial service. Well, that takes care of, I want to make sure that the reader knows that his parents have died, but I don't want to tell them that. I'm just saying that they've gone to the memorial service. I also want to show that Peter will do anything to help people. So maybe I'll put in a sentence here that says, I wouldn't want May to be all by herself. That, whoops, I didn't mean to do that and capitalize. So let me just fix that. See, what we want to do here is we want to kind of show the readers that Peter is a good guy, and he wants to help people. Okay. So again, putting details like this in and using our techniques of dialogue and sensory description, all these things, these are going to help us turn our thoughts that we gathered up here into a story that's kind of interesting to read and worth telling. I want you to go back through your writing and do the same thing. I know you've done good thinking and good planning. Now, how can you prepare this story so that somebody actually wants to read it? You've got all the tools that you need. You just have to go ahead and do it now. All right, let me know if you need some help. Hey, Tobin, you want some chicken with that?
Sure.